All right, listen up. You've been lied to. AI isn't here to save your job, streamline your workflow, or make your life easier. Nope. It's here to replace you, overpromise on results, and make your boss look like a genius for half the price. AI is the corporate snake oil of the century, a shiny gadget sold to you as the future while it quietly erases everything that makes your work, well, yours. Sure, it's wrapped in fancy buzzwords like efficiency, innovation, and future-proofing, but let's be real, it's just digital duct tape slapped on the mess your company refuses to fix. And guess what? It's your creativity, your hard work, and your job security that's being thrown under the bus. But hey, don't take my word for it. Let's rip the curtain off this AI charade and talk about why this so-called revolutionary tech is nothing more than a high-tech parasite that feeds on stolen ideas and spits out. Mediocrity, the ugly truth about AI in UX. So here's the deal. AI is being sold as the second coming of design perfection. Oh, it's going to make everything so much easier, faster workflows, smarter designs. Yeah, right. What they don't tell you is that AI is only as smart as the data it's fed, and that data stolen. Straight up pirated, unlicensed, and repackaged as innovation. Think about it. Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and all those smart apps didn't come out of thin air. They're built on data sets scraped from actual creatives. People like you. People who put in the blood, sweat, and caffeine fuel all-nighters to make something original. And now, your work is just another piece of data in the great AI blender regurgitated into some cookie-cutter design solution for people too lazy to hire actual talent. But here's the kicker. Companies love it. Why? Because they can slash their budgets, fire their junior designers, and brag about being AI-driven on LinkedIn. Meanwhile, you're stuck with mediocre outputs, frustrated clients, and the sinking realization that your job is being slowly eaten alive by a glorified copy machine. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Stick around, because next we're diving into how AI is basically the office slacker who steals everyone's ideas and gets all the credit. Spoiler alert, it's worse than you think. AI is basically that lazy guy at work who gets credit for everything. Let's talk about AI for what it really is. The office slacker who coasts by stealing everyone else's work. You know the type. The guy who's inspired by your ideas, but somehow always ends up pitching them as his own in the team meeting. Yeah, that's AI. Except it's doing it at a scale that would make even the laziest coworker jealous. Here's how it works. AI tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and others scrape mountains of data, images, articles, layouts, without asking permission or giving credit. It's like if someone walked into your house, took your furniture, and then sold it back to you as custom decor. Except instead of one house, it's scraping an entire city block. All those carefully crafted designs and layouts, they're now part of some open data set that gets churned into AI-generated outputs without a shred of respect for the original creators. And companies eat it up. Why wouldn't they? They get to save on hiring costs while bragging about their cutting-edge tech. Look at this chatbot we implemented. Look at this auto-generated design. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it's all Frankensteined together from bits and pieces of work stolen from real people. Let's not forget that this tech is propped up by marketing smoke and mirrors. Every company claims their AI is revolutionary, but when you look closer, it's all the same mediocre regurgitations. They'll say it's learning, but what it's really doing is plagiarizing just enough to pass as original without anyone noticing. And when it screws up, oh, that's just part of the process. Right, because if you made that many mistakes at work, you totally get a promotion and not a pink slip. But here's the real insult. People praise these tools like they're some kind of creative genius. No, it's not a genius. It's a glorified autocomplete. AI doesn't think, it doesn't create, and it sure as hell doesn't innovate. It just scrapes, mashes, and spits out whatever it thinks will pass. And yet somehow it's becoming the star of the show. The bottom line, AI isn't your colleague, it's your competition. And it's not playing fair. So while you're out here putting in the work, AI is coasting on your effort and collecting all the praise. Stick around, because in the next section, we're going to shred the myth that AI can actually be creative. Spoiler alert, it can't. Why AI sucks at being creative. All right, let's settle this once and for all. AI is not creative. It's not Picasso. It's not Steve Jobs. And it's definitely not the savior of your design team. AI is more like that one guy who can't come up with his own ideas, but tries to impress everyone by quoting movie lines at the bar. Yeah, it might sound clever at first, but Dig a little deeper and you realize it's just recycled garbage dressed up as originality. Here's the dirty secret they won't tell you. AI doesn't create, it imitates. Those AI-generated designs and layouts that some people are drooling over, they're just Frankenstein collages of everything it's been fed. Sure, it might look cool on the surface, but scratch the surface, and it's about as deep as a puddle. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're working on a logo, something unique that tells a story. AI, on the other hand, would grab a swirl from one artist, a color scheme from another, and slap it all together with zero context or meaning. It's not designing, it's mashing buttons on a blender and hoping for a smoothie. And don't even get me started on AI's creativity when it comes to problem solving. You want to innovate? AI's answer is to regurgitate whatever worked in the past. It doesn't understand nuance, context, or the human element that makes good design resonate. It's like asking a robot to write a love letter. It'll string some words together, but good luck finding a soul in there. The worst part, people are buying into this. They see these half-baked outputs and go, wow, look how innovative it is. No, it's not innovative, it's lazy. It's the design equivalent of throwing darts at a board blindfolded. And the darts? Yeah, they're stolen from someone else's game. Let's not forget how often AI gets it hilariously wrong. Ever see those AI-generated hands with 6 fingers? Or a face that looks like it came straight out of a fever dream? Yeah, those are your creative geniuses at work. It's proof that AI doesn't understand what it's making. It's just following patterns like a mindless intern who didn't read the project brief. Real creativity comes from problem solving, storytelling, and a human connection to the work. AI doesn't have any of that. It doesn't care about your brand story, your users, or the emotional impact of your design. It just churns out whatever it thinks you'll accept. And honestly, that's not good enough. So let's stop pretending AI is this brilliant creative force. It's not. It's a shortcut at best and a scam at worst. In the next section, we're talking about how AI isn't just ruining creativity. It's coming for your job too. Buckle up, boys. It's about to get ugly. Job security? Forget about it. Let's cut the crap. AI isn't just coming for your job. It's already here, sharpening its claws. You might think, oh, I'm safe. I've got skills, experience, a solid portfolio. Guess what? AI doesn't care. It's not here to compete. It's here to replace. And the worst part? Your boss is probably the one holding the door wide open for it. Think about it. Why hire a junior designer when a tool like ChatGPT or Midjourney can churn out something passable in seconds? Why pay a full-time researcher when AI can analyze data and give your boss a shiny, overhyped report? Sure, the results might be mediocre, but here's the kicker. Companies don't care about excellence. They care about saving money. And let's be real, mediocrity is good enough for most of them. They'll slap a fancy label on AI-generated work, call it innovative, and send it out the door. Meanwhile, the guy who used to do that job is out on the street, wondering how he lost to a glorified spreadsheet with attitude. But here's the plot twist. AI isn't just targeting entry-level jobs. Oh no, it's creeping up the ladder. Designers, writers, researchers. If your work can be automated, AI has a target on your back, and the suits love it. Why wouldn't they? AI doesn't take sick days, doesn't complain about overtime, and sure as hell doesn't ask for a raise. Oh, but AI can't replace the human touch. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. AI doesn't need to be perfect to replace you. It just needs to be good enough for your boss to justify cutting costs. And let's be honest, if you're banking on your human touch while AI cranks out designs faster than you can finish your coffee, you're in for a rude awakening. Let's talk real numbers. UX and design jobs are being slashed in the name of efficiency. Companies are restructuring, which is corporate speak for, we're cutting costs and you're expensive. They'll frame it as progress, but the reality, it's just greed in a shiny new package. But the real insult, you'll be asked to train your replacement. That's right, AI tools need your input to learn. So while you're perfecting your craft, those same tools are stealing your techniques and preparing to shove you out of the picture. It's like handing a burglar the keys to your house. And here's the cherry on top, they'll sell you on the idea that AI is here to help you, or it's a tool to make your work easier. Translation, we're going to make you do twice the work in half the time so we can eventually fire you and keep the tool. Look, I'm not saying you should panic, okay, maybe panic a little, but the writing's on the wall. If you're not actively figuring out how to adapt or carve out a niche AI can't touch, you might as well start practicing the phrase, do you want fries with that? But hey, AI doesn't just steal jobs, it also wrecks the planet while it's at it. Stick around, because next we're diving into the environmental disaster that comes with these so-called smart tools. Spoiler alert, it's not pretty. The environmental disaster. Nobody's talking about, all right, let's shift gears. You think AI is just eating jobs and spitting out mediocrity? Think again. It's also choking the planet while it's at it. Yeah, those slick, futuristic tools everyone's raving about, they come with a carbon footprint the size of a small country. Here's the ugly truth. Training and running AI models guzzle energy like a frat boy at happy hour. A single AI model can consume as much electricity as powering an entire neighborhood for months. We're talking about massive server farms. Giant, air-conditioned monstrosities running 24/7 just to make sure ChatGPT can help someone write a mildly funny LinkedIn post. And the worst part? The water. Oh yeah, nobody likes to talk about that. These data centers don't just need electricity, they need insane amounts of water to stay cool. We're draining rivers and aquifers just so someone can generate a logo or type "what's the meaning of life" into a chatbot for kicks. It's like setting your house on fire just to roast a marshmallow. But wait, it gets worse. The environmental impact isn't just about energy and water, it's about the hardware too. Those server farms, they run on processors and GPUs that require mining rare earth metals. And where do we get those? From strip mining operations that destroy ecosystems, displace communities, and pollute everything they touch. So every time you see that AI output, picture the environmental carnage it left behind. Oh, but renewable energy will fix this. Yeah, sure, let's slap a solar panel on it and call it a day, right? Hate to break it to you, but renewable energy isn't scaling fast enough to offset the damage AI is already doing. AI development is outpacing our ability to go green. And every shiny new tool just makes the gap wider. And let's not ignore the fact that companies don't give a damn. They'll virtue signal about carbon offsets and sustainable practices, but it's all just PR fluff. The truth? They'll squeeze every drop of energy, water, and resources they can, all in the name of profit. Here's the kicker. The environmental cost of AI isn't just theoretical, it's happening now. Drought-stricken regions are losing water to cool data centers. Entire ecosystems are being ripped apart for the rare metals used in GPUs. And for what? So corporations can save a buck and pretend they're on the cutting edge. So next time someone tells you how revolutionary AI is, ask them this. Is it worth torching the planet for slightly faster customer service or an auto-generated Instagram caption? Spoiler, it's not. But hey, we're not done yet. Next, we're diving into how AI isn't just an environmental train wreck, it's also a tool for exploitation. Buckle up, because this ride is only getting darker. AI, the new tool of corporate exploitation. If you thought AI was just bad for workers and the planet, think again. It's not just stealing jobs and killing ecosystems, it's also a shiny new weapon in the corporate arsenal of exploitation. That's right. AI is the ultimate enabler for squeezing every last ounce of productivity out of people while giving nothing back. Here's the playbook. AI doesn't just replace workers, it tracks, monitors, and controls them. Companies are already using AI to monitor everything from how fast warehouse employees pack boxes to how long you linger on a website. It's Big Brother on steroids. Every keystroke, every click, every minute you spend on a task, AI is there, analyzing and optimizing you into oblivion. Take Amazon, for example. Their warehouses are infamous for using AI-driven surveillance to measure how quickly employees move. Too slow, you get a warning. Too many warnings, you're fired. AI doesn't care if you're tired, injured, or just human. It only cares about efficiency. And guess what? That data gets fed back into the system, making the AI even better at cracking the whip. And it's not just blue-collar jobs. White-collar workers aren't safe either. AI-powered tools are infiltrating offices, tracking everything from email response times to meeting contributions. It's not about doing good work anymore, it's about feeding the algorithm. Suddenly, your value as an employee is reduced to how well you perform under the cold, unfeeling gaze of machine logic. But let's take it a step further. AI doesn't just control employees, it manipulates customers too. Algorithms are designed to keep you scrolling, clicking, and buying. Social media platforms use AI to trap you in endless feedback loops, showing you exactly what you want to see to keep you engaged and spending. It's psychological warfare, and the battlefield is your attention span. Think you're immune? Think again. those personalized recommendations. The you might also like suggestions, that's AI. Exploiting your preferences to push products, ads, and content that you didn't even know you wanted. It's not helping you, it's gaming you. And it's damn good at it. And let's not forget how AI perpetuates exploitation on a global scale. Cheap labor? Check. AI still relies on human workers to label and train data sets, often outsourced to developing countries where people are paid pennies to click through images or transcribe text. It's digital sweatshop labor, plain and simple. And also your chatbot can sound a little more human. Here's the bottom line. AI isn't just a tool, it's a weapon. It's being wielded by corporations to strip away your privacy, your autonomy, and your value as a human being. And the scariest part? We're letting it happen, one terms and conditions checkbox at a time. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. In the next section, we'll talk about the biggest myths surrounding AI, that it's some kind of unstoppable, all-knowing force. Spoiler, it's not. Let's bust that myth wide open. The myth of AI supremacy. It's not as smart as you think. Let's clear something up. AI isn't some godlike, all-knowing entity poised to rule the world. It's not Skynet, it's not HAL 9000, and it's not coming for your throne as the apex predator of intelligence. What AI actually is? A glorified parrot. A very fast, very data-hungry parrot that's great at regurgitating what it's been trained on, but absolutely clueless about what it all means. Here's the thing they don't want you to know. AI doesn't think. It doesn't understand context, nuance, or the complexity of human experience. It's a pattern-matching machine. Feed it enough data, and it'll spit out something that looks impressive, but peel back the layers, and it's just mathematical guesswork. It's like handing a magic 8-ball a billion possible answers and asking it to sound profound. Take ChatGPT, for example. It doesn't know anything. It's just really good at predicting the next word in a sentence based on what it's seen before. That's it. There's no consciousness, no reasoning, no intelligence in the way we think of it. It's like autocorrect on steroids, but with a fancier vocabulary. And don't let the hype fool you about AI being infallible. AI makes mistakes, hilarious, bizarre, sometimes downright scary mistakes. Ask it to draw hands and you'll get a Picasso nightmare. Ask it for facts and it might confidently deliver completely made-up nonsense. It's not reliable, it's convincing. Big difference. Then there's the issue of bias. AI learns from the data it's fed, which means it inherits all the flaws, prejudices, and blind spots of its creators. Racist hiring algorithms? Check. Gender-biased performance reviews? Check. AI isn't neutral. It reflects and amplifies the mess we feed it. It's like handing a megaphone to the loudest, worst parts of humanity. Now, let's address the unstoppable myth. AI isn't evolving on its own. It's not sitting in a lab somewhere, plotting world domination. Every advancement requires massive amounts of money, energy, and human input. And let's not ignore that most of its so-called breakthroughs come from gaming the system, cutting corners, scraping data, and bypassing regulations. It's not genius, it's hustle. But here's the kicker. Corporations and marketers don't want you to know any of this. They want you to see AI as this mystical, unbeatable force of innovation because that keeps you in awe and keeps them in business. They'll throw around buzzwords like machine learning and neural networks to make you feel like you're living in the future. Reality check, AI is just a tool. And like any tool, it's only as good or as dangerous as the person wielding it. So no, AI isn't coming for your soul, but it is coming for your trust. Don't buy the hype. In the next section, we're diving into how you can fight back because yes, there's a way to push against this nonsense. Stay tuned. How to fight back, taking control in the age of AI. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk solutions. Because while AI might feel like an unstoppable juggernaut, it's not invincible. And neither are the corporations shoving it down our throats. The truth is you can push back, you can take control. But it's going to take a mix of awareness, strategy, and let's face it, a bit of audacity. Step 1, educate yourself. The first step to fighting back is understanding what you're up against. Don't just buy into the hype or let the fear paralyze you. Learn how AI actually works. No, you don't need a PhD in computer science, just enough to know the difference between the reality of AI and the BS marketing fluff. When someone starts spewing buzzwords like neural networks or deep learning, you'll know if they're legit or just trying to sound smart. Step 2, protect your data. AI runs on data, your data. Every time you scroll, click, or post, you're feeding the machine. So stop giving it away for free. Be smart about what you share online. Use privacy-focused browsers, turn off tracking, and think twice before hitting accept on those terms and conditions. Remember, your data is gold, and you don't have to hand it over just because a pop-up asks nicely. Step 3, support ethical alternatives. Not all AI is evil, it's the way it's used that's the problem. Seek out companies and tools that prioritize transparency, fair use, and ethical practices. They might not be as flashy or ubiquitous as the big players, but every dollar you spend on an ethical alternative is a dollar that doesn't go into the pockets of exploitative corporations. Step 4, push for regulation. Look, we all know that companies won't police themselves. If they could, we wouldn't need seatbelt laws or food safety inspections. The same goes for AI. Support policies and regulations that hold these companies accountable. Whether it's stricter copyright laws, better data protection, or environmental standards, these measures can put some much-needed guardrails on AI development. Step 5, use the tools against them. Here's the ironic twist. You can use AI to fight AI. There are tools out there designed to protect your work, flag copyright violations, and even detect when AI-generated content is being used. Think of it as fighting fire with fire. Except this time, the fire's on your side. Step 6, create what AI can't. This is the big one. AI might be great at churning out bland, predictable content, but it can't replicate genuine creativity, deep empathy, or the messy brilliance of human thought. Double down on the things that make you irreplaceable. Lean into your unique skills, your personal perspective, and your ability to connect with people in ways no machine ever could. Step 7, speak up. Don't underestimate the power of calling out BS when you see it. Whether it's a LinkedIn post, a conversation with colleagues, or just some dude at a bar talking about how AI is the future, speak your truth. The more people understand the real implications of AI, the harder it'll be for corporations to keep running their exploitative game. Here's the bottom line. AI isn't going away, but neither are you. The future doesn't belong to the machines, it belongs to the people who know how to adapt, fight back, and stay human in the process. And that's it. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you're already ahead of the game. Now go out there and show the machines who's boss. The future of work, adapt, or get left behind. Let's get real for a second. AI isn't just a buzzword, it's here to stay. Whether you're in design, tech, or running your own side hustle, the landscape of work is changing fast. And the uncomfortable truth? You've got two options, adapt or get left behind. This isn't survival of the fittest, it's survival of the smartest. Here's the deal, AI isn't replacing everyone's job. It's replacing the mundane, the repetitive, and the uninspired. If you're showing up to work just to punch buttons or copy-paste spreadsheets, congratulations, you're exactly the kind of worker AI was built to replace. But if you're the kind of guy who thrives on strategy, creativity, and innovation, there's still plenty of room for you at the table. You just have to make yourself indispensable. Step 1, learn to work with AI. Here's the trick. They say, if you can't beat them, join them. AI isn't your enemy. It's a tool. The key is learning how to use it without letting it use you. Whether it's automating your boring tasks, speeding up your workflows, or giving you insights that would have taken hours to dig up on your own, there's a way to make AI your secret weapon. The guys who win are the ones who figure out how to use AI to amplify their skills, not replace them. Step 2. Upskill like your life depends on it. Spoiler alert, it does. The days of coasting on what you learn in college are over. AI is evolving, and so should you. That means diving into new tools, brushing up on emerging trends, and staying one step ahead of the machines. Don't know how AI works? Learn. Don't understand data science? Take a crash course. The best way to stay relevant is to stay sharp. Step 3, build what AI can't. This is where you set yourself apart. AI can replicate patterns, but it can't replicate people. It can't build relationships, spark genuine human connections, or think outside the box in a way that only a real person can. Your creativity, your emotional intelligence, your ability to innovate. That's the stuff AI can't touch. Double down on it. Step 4, focus on value, not tasks. Here's the shift you need to make. Stop thinking about what you do and start thinking about the value you bring. AI can do tasks, but it can't solve problems or create a vision. If you're the guy who can step back, see the big picture, and figure out what actually moves the needle, you're untouchable. Step 5, own your narrative. This one's big. Your career isn't just a list of jobs you've had, it's a story, and you're the author. In an AI-driven world, people want authenticity. They want to work with someone who's real, relatable, and has something unique to offer. Be that guy. Own your journey, your failures, your wins. Make yourself unforgettable. The bottom line, the future of work isn't about outsmarting AI, it's about being so damn good at what you do that AI can't compete. The machines are coming, sure, but they're not coming for you if you're ready to adapt, evolve, and stay ahead of the curve. In the next section, we'll dive into the ethical dilemmas of working with AI. Because let's face it, just because you can use AI doesn't always mean you should. Let's talk about drawing the line. The ethical dilemma, just because you can, doesn't mean you should. So, you've mastered the art of using AI to level up your game. Congrats, you're ahead of the curve. But here's the thing. Just because you can use AI to automate, optimize, and scale doesn't mean you should. This is where the rubber meets the road. Are you just another cog in the corporate AI machine, or are you a guy who actually gives a damn about what's right and wrong? Let's start with a simple question. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Because if you're using AI to cut corners, exploit others, or churn out half-baked work at the expense of real human connection, you're not innovating, you're selling out. The line between tool and crutch, there's a fine line between using AI as a tool and leaning on it like a crutch. A tool helps you work smarter, freeing up time and energy for the things that matter. A crutch, on the other hand, makes you lazy, complacent, and let's be real, replaceable. If you're letting AI do all the thinking for you, you're not building anything real. You're just dressing up machine output and calling it your own. When AI crosses the line, here's where things get murky. AI thrives on data, lots of it, and that data isn't always obtained ethically. Think stolen art, scraped content, or even your personal information being harvested without consent. Every time you use an AI tool, you're tacitly endorsing the methods used to build it. If that doesn't sit right with you, it's time to take a hard look at where you draw the line. Ask yourself, is this tool built on stolen work or data? Does it exploit workers in low-income countries to label or train data sets? Am I using it in a way that undermines or exploits other people? If the answer is yes, maybe it's time to hit pause. The human cost. Let's talk about people. For every AI tool that saves time or boosts productivity, there's a human on the other end paying the price. Jobs are lost. Creativity is devalued. And the work we once took pride in becomes a commodity. Are you okay with being part of that system? Or are you the kind of guy who stands up for the things that matter, like fairness, originality, and the human touch? Using AI with integrity. The good news is, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can use AI ethically, but it takes intention and effort. Here's how. Do your homework, know where your tools come from and how they're built. Choose ones that prioritize transparency and ethical practices. Respect creators, give credit where it's due. If you're using AI-generated content, be upfront about it. Set boundaries, use AI to enhance your work, not replace it. Keep the parts that matter, creativity, strategy, and connection, human. Advocate for change, push for better practices in your industry. Demand that companies prioritize ethics over profits when it comes to AI development. The takeaway at the end of the day, ethics aren't just about doing what's right, they're about doing what's real. AI is a tool, not a replacement for your skills, values, or humanity. Use it wisely, and you can elevate your game without selling your soul. But use it carelessly, and you'll end up just another cog in the machine. In the next section, we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts on navigating this AI-driven world and how to stay grounded when everything around you feels like it's spinning out of control. Final thoughts. Thriving in an AI-driven world. All right, let's bring it home. We've covered the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI, and now it's time to ask yourself, where do you stand? Are you going to be the guy who lets the machines dictate his future, or are you going to take control, adapt, and thrive? Embrace the change. but stay grounded. Look, technology isn't going to slow down because you're uncomfortable. AI is here, and it's only going to get more advanced. But here's the thing, it's not about keeping up with the machines, it's about staying ahead of them. That means using AI as a tool to elevate your game, not letting it define you or your work. Stay grounded in what makes you human. Your creativity, your instincts, your ability to connect with others on a level no machine can replicate. That's your edge. AI can automate tasks, but it can't replace passion, empathy, or ingenuity. Be intentional with your tools. You've got options. Just because everyone else is jumping on the AI bandwagon doesn't mean you have to follow blindly. Be intentional about the tools you use and how you use them. Choose tools that align with your values and enhance your strengths. And if a tool doesn't feel right, if it crosses ethical lines or undermines the quality of your work, don't be afraid to walk away. Focus on mastery, not automation. The real winners in an AI-driven world won't be the ones who rely on machines to do their thinking for them. They'll be the ones who master their craft, embrace continuous learning, and stay adaptable. The more you focus on building skills that AI can't replicate, like critical thinking, leadership, and creative problem solving, the more untouchable you'll become. Advocate for a better future. Here's a hard truth: if you don't speak up, nothing changes. Use your voice to push for ethical AI practices, better regulations, and accountability from the companies shaping this technology. It's not about being anti-AI. It's about making sure this powerful tool is used responsibly, not recklessly. Your legacy in the age of AI, when it's all said and done, what kind of mark do you want to leave behind? Are you just another guy who got swept up in the wave of automation? Or are you the guy who stayed true to his values, built something real, and inspired others to do the same? The choice is yours, and it starts now. The machines aren't the enemy, it's complacency. Stay sharp, stay ethical, and stay human. That's how you win in an AI-driven world. And there you have it. Now go out there and show the world what you're made of, because trust me, no algorithm can do what you do.